Welcome to the West Ham Voice. I hope you're having a good week so far. We've had all the drama off the field. Now we're ready for the drama on it because after a week of, well, not so much turmoil, but a week of change off the field at West Ham United, now we can start looking forward to the football again this coming weekend. And this weekend, there are some very important games coming up, not only for West Ham, but for the teams around us. Now, before I go into all of that, if you're new to this channel or if you've watched the West Ham Voice before but yet to become a subscriber, a QR code has appeared in that top corner there. All you got to do during the show or after the show is click on that QR code, takes you straight to the subscription page of the West Ham Voice, and you can become a subscriber free of charge. It helps me to it shows your appreciation of the channel. It helps me to elevate the channel on YouTube's algorithms, and all good for you and me. If you enjoy this particular show, there's a like button at the bottom of the screen there. You can click on that. And if you like to promote this video, all you got to do is click the hype button. By clicking the hype button, it allows other viewers on YouTube to watch this show as well. So let's crack on because, as I said, there are there are always very important games in the Premier League, but it's getting to real crunch time, isn't it now? With Wolves and Burnley confirmed relegated from the Premier League, many pundits are suggesting that the last remaining games, the last remaining relegation spot is now purely between Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United. And whilst the current league table seems to suggest that, I'm not so sure that that will be the case. I think there are more twists before this season is out. Now, this weekend's fixtures could reshuffle the relegation scrap. Now, there are other games that don't include relegation, and of course, that one of the games that has an impact on the games in the Premier League is the Europa League semi-final between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa this coming Thursday night. Now, that game, not only does it impact on Forest's game coming up against Chelsea away on Monday night, but the Villa playing in this game could also have an impact when they play Spurs on Sunday in the Premier League. So Villa will have an extra game to have played. It means that their players might be a little bit more fatigued. It might mean that Unai Emery might have to shuffle the pack a little bit, and that might favour Tottenham Hotspur when they play. But Tottenham Hotspur have got their own problems because adding to their injury list, Xabi Simons and Dominique Solanke are now out for the rest of the season. So, with Nottingham Forest on 39 points, travelling to Chelsea on Monday night, if they don't win that, they could slip back into the relegation scrap. And depending on how Aston Villa do, it might mean that Spurs stay rooted in the bottom three as well. Leeds on 40 points can all but seal their safety with versus relegated Burnley on Friday night, and that's the game that kicks off this crucial weekend of fixtures. In between, of course, West Ham travel to Brentford with a real chance to strengthen our position. If we get a much-needed win, we can pull away or certainly pull further away from the bottom three. But there's another team who should be looking over their shoulders at the moment, and that is Newcastle United. One win in their last 5 league games leaves them stuck on 42 points, and if they keep losing, and if Spurs and West Ham and Nottingham Forest and Leeds United keep winning their games, then Newcastle United could be dragged into this relegation dogfight as well. But let's kick off with Friday night's game against between Leeds United and Burnley. As I've said, Leeds United, if they win this game, they would more or less guarantee their safety. The last time these two teams met was back in October, where Burnley got the 3 points with a 2-0 win. But a lot has changed since then, and Leeds have slowly pulled themselves away from the bottom three, with Burnley remaining deeply rooted in it. Well, deeply rooted, as I've said, they're now relegated. Now, Leeds United's form over the last 6 games would have them 9th in the league, and as I've mentioned, a win over Burnley will see their Premier League status pretty much secure. I do think Leeds will win, and that will be one more team taken out of the relegation equation. But why would I say Leeds taken out of it and Newcastle may be in it? Because if Leeds win, it puts them on 43 points. It puts them above Newcastle. Let's jump to Sunday, Aston Villa's game against Tottenham Hotspur. As I've said, Villa's form has, Villa have, it's been a bit erratic over the past 6 games. 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 defeats. But despite that, they still sit 5th in the league and are still pushing hard for a Champions League spot next season. Now, Villa have actually got 2 bites at the Champions League cherry, not only through the Premier League, but also in their game against Nottingham Forest in the Europa League, because they get through that, they get to the final. If they win that, then Champions League beckons. Now, it's going to be an interesting game here because Spurs have the 3rd worst record in the league over the past 6 games, with Burnley and Chelsea only being worse. But that was under Chelsea's position was under the because of Leroy Rosenior. And I actually expect Chelsea to improve fairly quickly. But can the same be said of Tottenham Hotspur, especially with their injury crisis as well? Now, pundits seem to think that despite them winning just the 1 game all calendar year against Wolves, that they're going to pull out of this relegation fight. I'm not so sure. The last time Spurs beat Villa in any competition was back in 2024 when they thumped Aston Villa by 4 goals to 1. Now, I think their form seems to suggest that they're not going to get out of this fight pretty easily. And the pundits suggesting that they may pull away from the bottom 3 leaves me a little bit sort of confused, to be quite honest with you. Now, since then, since that 4-1 win back in 2024, they haven't won a game against Aston Villa. In their last 4 meetings, Villa have won all 4 games, 2 wins in the FA Cup and 2 wins in the league. But despite Villa's preoccupation with Europe, the injuries to Tottenham Hotspur is what's going to make it really difficult for them. Look, Spurs might be in with a draw here. If Villa are a little bit fatigued from the Europa League, Spurs come all guns blazing, they could get a draw. But I just got a feeling that Villa at home are likely to be too strong for them. Let's go back to Chelsea because, like I said, they're not doing so well at the moment. But that's because of Rosenior, who's now gone. And they're going to be facing a Forest team, who I've mentioned, are also going to be playing in Europe before they meet Chelsea on Monday night. But Nottingham Forest have been rampant of late with a 4-1 win against Burnley the weekend before last. And that was followed up by a 5-0 thumping of Sunderland at their home ground. Now, in fact, at this moment in time, Nottingham Forest sit actually 3rd in the league in terms of form over the past 6 games. So Forest are going to come confident. Even though they're playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, I think they're going to be pretty confident. But as I've said, with Rosenior gone, I think maybe Chelsea, I think Chelsea will want to go back to winning ways, get a chance of European football next season. So let's see how that turns out. That's going to be quite an interesting game. A rampant Nottingham Forest against a Chelsea side who's trying to find their form again. And that could end up a draw or quite possibly a Nottingham Forest win. If Forest do win that game, I think they could almost count themselves out of the relegation equation. Right, before I talk about West Ham United, let's talk about another team that I mentioned earlier, and that is Newcastle. They host Brighton on Saturday. Now, Brighton are 6th in the league and maybe too far away from a Champions League position right now, but definitely in with a shout for Europa League football next season. Over the past 6 games, Brighton's form is second only to Man City's. 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. This is not going to be an easy game for Newcastle, whose recent form is way below that of Brighton's. If Newcastle experience yet another tough afternoon, then I think they're certainly going to start worrying about their league status. Let's now move on to West Ham, who visit Brentford this coming weekend. Now, of our last 6 games, West Ham United are actually sitting 5th in the league in terms of form, with won 3, drawn 2, and lost just the 1 game. Whereas Brentford have won none, drawn 5, and lost 1. So it's interesting that many fans, West Ham fans, who were watching the game against Brentford Man United on Monday night are suggesting we're in for a tough ride. They said that Brentford were pretty good. But on form, West Ham have got the better form at the moment. So we should be an equal match, if not better, than Brentford this coming weekend. Nuno has got a fully fit squad to choose from, and we are grinding out results. In the Premier League, our last defeat was against Aston Villa. So we've been doing rather well of late. Brentford are absolutely tough opponents, no doubt. But and we haven't actually won at their ground since the beginning of January. They haven't won at their own ground since the beginning of January with a 3-0 win over Sunderland. But many will argue that they're due a win, and many will also say that West Ham is the gift that keeps on giving. But currently, under Nuno, I don't think this to be the case. All right, the last time we beat Brentford in the league was back in 2024, and the last time we beat them at their ground was in 2023 in the FA Cup. So they are a bit of a bogey team. But maybe it's West Ham's turn to break the duck. And I actually fancy us this weekend to get the result we need in order to pull away from the bottom 3. If we do, and Spurs don't win their game, that takes us 5 points clear of Tottenham Hotspur with 3 games remaining. That means that Tottenham are going to have to win 2, at the very least, of their last 3 games if they don't get a positive result this coming weekend. Look, it's going to be yet another crucial, nail-biting weekend of football. I think we're capable. I think we've got it in us. The way we came back against Everton last weekend shows the resilience, shows the fight in the team. And some players are coming back in form at the moment. I was almost going to say Declan Rice there. Jared Bowen created 2 goals against Everton last weekend. Crescencio Somerville is getting back to his best as well, having created a lot of problems for Everton last weekend. We've got it in us. Brentford look better away from home than they do at home. So maybe, just maybe, we break that duck, get the win that we need, and move away from the bottom 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like I said, if you want to become a subscriber, click on that QR code. Do hit the like button to show your appreciation. Leave your comments. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win over the weekend? And where do you think West Ham are going to be? Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again pretty soon.